Welcome, everyone. Today, you are going to listen to the full success story of Dhirubhai Ambani, a man who started with very little, but built one of the biggest business empires in the world. This is not just a story about money. It is a story about vision, risk, courage, and never giving up. And while you listen to this story, you will also improve your English listening and understanding. So stay focused till the end. And if you want to improve your English and your life step by step, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories. Chapter 1. The Beginning of a Dream. The story begins in a small village in India, a place where life was simple, but opportunities were very limited. This is where Dhirubhai Ambani was born in 1932. He was not born into wealth. He was not surrounded by luxury. His father was a school teacher. His family lived a normal life. No big business, no powerful connections, no financial advantage, just a simple beginning. From a young age, Dhirubhai was different. He was not just a boy who accepted life as it was. He was always thinking, always observing, always asking questions. He wanted more than the village, more than the normal life. He didn't know how, but he felt it inside, that his life could be bigger. Even as a child, he showed signs of business thinking. There's a story often told about him. As a young boy, he would go to a local temple during festivals, and he noticed something simple. People were coming in large numbers. They needed food. They needed snacks. So what did he do? He started selling snacks near the temple. Small idea, but powerful thinking. He saw an opportunity where others saw nothing. This is where it all started. But life was not comfortable. His family did not have extra money. There were limits everywhere. And this is where most people accept their situation. They think, this is my life. This is enough. But not Dhirubhai. He did not want to stay limited. He wanted to break out. As he grew older, he realized something very important. If he stayed in the same place, his life would stay the same. So he made a bold decision. He decided to leave India. At a young age, he went to Yemen to find work. Now imagine this. A young boy, leaving his home, going to a different country, with no guarantee of success. This was not easy, but this was necessary. In Yemen, he got a job at a company, a simple job, not a big position, not a powerful role. But this is where he started learning. He observed everything: how business works, how money moves, how trade happens. He was not just working. He was learning. While working, he understood something very powerful. Money is not just earned. Money is created through trade, risk, smart decisions. He watched how goods were bought and sold. He saw how profits were made. And slowly, his mind started expanding. Now his dream was no longer small. He didn't want to just earn a salary. He wanted to build something big, something that people would remember. But at that time, he was still just an employee, still learning, still preparing. Most people think success starts when you become big. But the truth is, success starts when you are learning in silence. Dhirubhai was preparing. Every day, without showing it, without announcing it. He was building knowledge, understanding, confidence. And this preparation would soon change everything. Dhirubhai Ambani was still in Yemen, working a regular job. On the outside, his life looked stable. He had income. He had experience. He had learned how business works. But inside, something was growing. A bigger dream. Every day while working, Dhirubhai Ambani was not just doing his job. He was observing. He was thinking. He was learning how money moves. He saw how companies bought goods at one price, sold them at another price, made profit in between. This was a powerful realization. He understood. Money is not only earned by working, it is created by thinking. This changed everything. After gaining experience, Dhirubhai made another bold decision. He decided to return to India. Now think about this moment. He could have stayed in Yemen. He had a stable job, a safe life. But he didn't want safety. He wanted opportunity. He wanted to build something of his own. So he left his job and came back to India. Not as a rich man, not as a successful businessman, but as a man with a vision. When he returned, he did not have a big office. He did not have big money. He did not have a big team. He started small, very small. He began his business journey with a small trading company. The name was Reliance Commercial Corporation. This was the beginning of something that would later become massive. But at that time, it was just a small setup. His office was not fancy. It was a small room, simple, no luxury, just basic things. But what made it powerful was not the space. It was the mind inside it. Dhirubhai had something most people don't have. He had belief, vision, hunger, and these are more powerful than money. He started with trading, buying and selling goods, mainly spices and yarn. Now this may sound simple, but trading requires understanding markets, building connections, taking risks, and Dhirubhai was ready for it. Most people are afraid of risk. They want certainty. They want guarantee. But in business, there is no guarantee. Dhirubhai understood this. He took calculated risks. He trusted his understanding. And slowly, his business started moving. One of his biggest strengths was people. He knew how to build relationships. He talked to traders. He connected with suppliers. He built trust with customers. This is very important because business is not just about products. It is about people, and people trust those who are confident, honest, consistent. Dhirubhai built that trust. At that time, most traders thought small. They focused on small profits, small deals, safe decisions. But Dhirubhai thought differently. He thought, why small? Why not big? He wanted to scale. He wanted to grow faster. He was not afraid to dream big, and this mindset made him different. Slowly, his business started growing. Not overnight, but step by step. More deals, more connections, more opportunities. People started noticing him, not because he was rich, but because he was sharp. At the beginning, he was surviving, trying to build something, but now he started thinking strategically. He started planning how to grow, how to expand, how to move ahead of others. This is where he started becoming not just a trader, but a businessman. Even at this stage, something was clear. Dhirubhai was not here for small success. He was building something much bigger, something that would go beyond small profits, small business, small thinking. He was preparing for the next level. Chapter 3. The Move That Shocked the Nation. By now, the business was growing fast. Demand was increasing. Production needed to expand. New opportunities were opening. But there was one big problem: money. To grow bigger, he needed more capital. At that time, most businesses depended on banks, wealthy investors, private funding, and these were not easy to access, especially for someone who was still building his empire. This is where Dhirubhai Ambani did something revolutionary. He decided to go to the common people, not big investors, not powerful businessmen, but ordinary people. And he said, Become a part of my company. This was the idea of going public, listing his company on the stock market. He took his company, Reliance, to the stock market. Now people could buy shares. They could invest in his business. This was a huge risk. Because at that time, people did not trust the stock market much. Investing was not common. Fear was high. But Dhirubhai saw something different. He saw an opportunity. He didn't just offer shares. He created a movement. He explained to people, you don't need to be rich to invest. You can grow with the company. He made investing simple. He made it understandable. And slowly, people started trusting him. Thousands of small investors joined. They believed in his vision. They believed in his growth. And this created something powerful, a connection between the company and the people. Now Reliance was not just a business. It became a people's company. As the company grew, the value of shares increased. People who trusted him early started seeing results. Their investment grew. Their confidence grew. And this created a chain reaction. More people wanted to invest. More people believed in him. But success never comes alone. It brings challenges. Many big players did not like this. They were used to controlling the system. They were not comfortable with a new player growing so fast. There were criticisms, doubts, opposition. Some people tried to stop him. Some people questioned his methods. There was even a famous battle in the stock market, where powerful groups tried to bring down his company's share price. But Dhirubhai did not step back. He stood strong. He believed in his business. He supported his investors. And in the end, he proved everyone wrong. This moment showed something very important. He was not just a businessman. He was a leader. He stood by his people. He stood by his vision. And that created even more trust. With the support of public investment, his company started growing faster than ever. He expanded into new industries, larger production, bigger projects. Now his vision was becoming reality. At this stage, something big changed. Reliance was no longer just a company. It was becoming an empire, a name that people recognized, a brand that people trusted, a system that people believed in. Chapter 3. The move that shocked the nation. By now, the business was growing fast. Demand was increasing. Production needed to expand. New opportunities were opening. But there was one big problem: money. To grow bigger, he needed more capital. At that time, most businesses depended on banks, wealthy investors, private funding, and these were not easy to access, especially for someone who was still building his empire. This is where Dhirubhai Ambani did something revolutionary. He decided to go to the common people, not big investors, not powerful businessmen, but ordinary people. And he said, "Become a part of my company." This was the idea of going public, listing his company on the stock market. He took his company, Reliance, to the stock market. Now people could buy shares. They could invest in his business. This was a huge risk, because at that time, people did not trust the stock market much. Investing was not common. Fear was high. But Dhirubhai saw something different. He saw an opportunity. He didn't just offer shares. He created a movement. He explained to people, you don't need to be rich to invest. You can grow with the company. He made investing simple. He made it understandable. And slowly, people started trusting him. Thousands of small investors joined. They believed in his vision. They believed in his growth. And this created something powerful, a connection between the company and the people. Now Reliance was not just a business. It became a people's company. As the company grew, the value of shares increased. People who trusted him early started seeing results. Their investment grew, their confidence grew, and this created a chain reaction. More people wanted to invest. More people believed in him. But success never comes alone. It brings challenges. Many big players did not like this. They were used to controlling the system. They were not comfortable with a new player growing so fast. There were criticisms, doubts, opposition. Some people tried to stop him. Some people questioned his methods. There was even a famous battle in the stock market, where powerful groups tried to bring down his company's share price. But Dhirubhai did not step back. He stood strong. He believed in his business. He supported his investors. And in the end, he proved everyone wrong. This moment showed something very important. He was not just a businessman. He was a leader. He stood by his people. He stood by his vision. And that created even more trust. With the support of public investment, his company started growing faster than ever. He expanded into new industries, larger production, bigger projects. Now his vision was becoming reality. At this stage, something big changed. Reliance was no longer just a company. It was becoming an empire, a name that people recognized, a brand that people trusted, a system that people believed in. Until now, his main focus was textiles. But Dhirubhai Ambani was not thinking small. He understood something very powerful. If you depend on one industry, your growth is limited. But if you expand into multiple industries, your power multiplies. So he made a bold decision. He started expanding into new sectors. One of his biggest moves was entering the petrochemical industry. This was not a small step. This was a massive jump. Because petrochemicals require huge investment, advanced technology, large-scale operations. Most people would never take such a risk. But Dhirubhai believed in scale. He believed in thinking big. He started building large manufacturing plants, not small factories, but massive production units, modern, efficient, high capacity. These plants allowed him to produce more, reduce costs, increase profits, and this gave him a strong advantage. He didn't just expand randomly. He connected everything, from raw materials to final products. This is called integration. For example, instead of buying materials from others, he started producing them himself. Now he controlled supply, cost, production. This made his business stronger. Most people follow trends, but Dhirubhai created trends. He invested in industries before others saw the opportunity. This gave you an early advantage, and early advantage creates dominance. But bigger growth brings bigger challenges. Now he was dealing with large investments, complex systems, high pressure. There were also criticism, political challenges, business competition. Many people doubted him. They said, "This is too big. This will fail." But he didn't stop. What made him different? Belief. He believed in his vision. He believed in his decisions. Even when others doubted him, he kept moving forward. This is what leaders do. They don't follow the crowd. They create their own path. As his empire grew, something else happened. He started creating opportunities, jobs for thousands of people, growth for many families, impact across industries. Now his success was not just personal, it was national. At this stage, Dhirubhai Ambani was no longer just a businessman. He became an industrial leader, a name that represented growth, vision, power. People looked at him differently. not just as a trader, but as a man who changed industries. His company grew rapidly, faster than most others, because he was not afraid of big decisions, big risks, big investments. And this created momentum, and momentum creates unstoppable growth. Chapter 4. The legacy that changed everything. At this stage, Dhirubhai Ambani was no longer just building a company. He was shaping a vision that would live beyond him. His company, Reliance, was now one of the fastest-growing businesses, a trusted name among millions, a symbol of ambition and scale. But what made this stage different was not size. It was impact. Before Dhirubhai, business felt distant. It felt like something only powerful families could do. Only the rich. Only the connected. But he changed that belief. He showed people, you can start small, and still build something big. This was powerful, because it gave hope to ordinary people, to small dreamers, to those who had nothing. Dhirubhai was not just a businessman. He became a people's entrepreneur. Millions of investors trusted him. Thousands of employees worked with him, and he treated them as part of his journey. This is very important, because success becomes stronger when people grow with you. Most people chase success, but Dhirubhai built systems. Systems that could continue. Systems that could grow. Systems that could survive challenges. This is why his company did not stop. It kept moving, even as the world changed. In his later years, his influence was massive. He had built industries, created opportunities, inspired millions. But like every human life, there comes a moment when the journey slows down. In 2002, Dhirubhai Ambani passed away. But here is the truth. His story did not end. After him, his sons took the responsibility. Mukesh Ambani and Anil Ambani. They continued the journey. They expanded further. They took the company into new areas. Today, Reliance is one of the largest companies in the world. But its roots still go back to one man, one vision, one decision. Now think about this. A boy from a small village, with no big resources, no powerful background, built something that created thousands of jobs, influenced industries, changed how people see business. This is not normal success. This is extraordinary transformation. Let's go deeper. What made him successful? It was not luck. It was not easy opportunities. It was vision, courage, risk-taking, consistency, belief. But most importantly, it was his mindset. He did not think small. He did not accept limits. He believed that growth has no boundary. Most people look at success, and they only see the result. They see wealth, power, fame, but they don't see years of struggle, uncertainty, risk, failure. Dhirubhai's journey was not easy. It was filled with challenges. But he kept moving. And that is the difference. Dhirubhai Ambani started with almost nothing. But by the end of his life, his company Reliance Industries had become one of the biggest in India. It was worth billions of dollars. And today, his legacy continues through Mukesh Ambani, whose net worth is more than $90 billion, making him one of the richest people in the world. This story is not just about him. It is about you, because the same principles apply. You may not start big. You may not have everything, but you can still start small, think big, stay consistent, and slowly build something meaningful. Success is not about where you begin. It is about how you think, how you act, and how you continue. Dhirubhai Ambani proved this, from nothing to everything. So remember this, your life right now, is not your final destination. It is just your starting point. You may feel limited. You may feel stuck. You may feel behind. But none of that decides your future. Your decisions do. Your mindset does. Your actions do. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start now, think bigger, act stronger, and keep moving forward. Because one day, your story will also be told. And the question is, will it be a story of excuses or a story of unstoppable growth? Now I'll give you 7 powerful lessons from the life of Dhirubhai Ambani. Lessons that can completely change the way you think, act, and build your life. Lesson 1. Start before you feel ready. This is the biggest mistake most people make. They wait. They wait for the perfect time. They wait to feel confident. They wait until everything is clear. But the truth is simple. You will never feel fully ready. Think about Dhirubhai Ambani. When he started, he did not have big money, big support, big knowledge. He did not know everything. He did not have a guarantee, but he still started. This is what changed his life. Your mind will always try to protect you. It will say, wait a little more, learn more first, start later. But this is not protection. This is fear. Because your mind is afraid of failure, judgment, uncertainty. So it delays your action. When you start, something magical happens. You move from thinking to doing. And doing teaches you more than thinking ever will. When you take action, you learn faster, you understand better, you become stronger. Because real learning comes from experience. Even successful people don't feel ready. They just act anyway. They move forward with doubt. They take steps without full clarity. And slowly, they figure things out. Your life does not change when you think. Your life changes when you act. Even a small step matters, because it breaks your fear. It builds momentum, and momentum creates progress. You don't need confidence to start. You need to start to build confidence. This is the shift. Stop waiting to feel ready. Start moving. Because once you begin, everything starts becoming clearer. Lesson 2. Your environment is shaping your future. Most people think success is about motivation, but it is not. It is about environment. Your environment is quietly shaping your life every day. What is environment? Environment is everything around you. People, habits, content, daily routine. It influences how you think, how you act, and who you become. Many people are in the wrong environment. They are surrounded by negativity, distraction, comfort, and they don't realize it. They try to improve, but their environment pulls them back. Dhirubhai Ambani understood this early. That's why he left his home. He moved to a new place, a new country, a new environment. Because he knew, if I stay here, I will stay the same. Your environment affects your behavior automatically. If you are around focused people, you become focused. Lazy people, you become lazy. If your environment is full of growth, you grow. Distraction, you get distracted. You don't even notice it. But it is happening every day. If you want to improve, start with your environment. You don't need to change everything. Start small. Change what you watch, what you listen, what you read. Remove things that waste your time. Add things that build your mind. When your environment changes, your actions change. When your actions change, your results change. And slowly, your life transforms. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your environment. So if you want a better life, build a better environment. Lesson 3. Think long-term, not short-term. They think short-term. They want quick results. fast success, instant rewards. But real success does not work like that. Short-term thinking feels good. You get fast results. You feel excited. But it does not last, because it is not built on strong foundation. Dhirubhai Ambani did not think in days. He thought in years. He built slowly. He expanded carefully. He focused on the future. Even when results were not immediate. When you think long-term, you make better decisions. You stay patient. You avoid unnecessary mistakes. You don't get distracted easily. Because you know where you are going. Long-term thinking is not easy, because it requires patience, discipline, trust. You may not see results quickly. You may feel like nothing is happening. But inside, growth is happening. Not all progress is visible. Sometimes you are learning, you are improving, you are building skills, but results come later. And when they come, they are powerful. Stop asking, how fast can I succeed? Start asking, how strong can I build this? Because strong things last. Short-term thinking gives you comfort. Long-term thinking gives you success. Choose wisely. Lesson 4. Discipline will carry you. When motivation dies, most people live their life based on feelings. If they feel good, they work. If they feel tired, they stop. If they feel motivated, they start something new. And this is why their life stays the same. Because feelings change every single day. Motivation is temporary. It feels strong in the beginning. You feel excited. You feel powerful. You feel like you can do anything. But after some time, motivation disappears. You feel bored. You feel lazy. You feel like stopping. And this is where most people quit. What makes the difference? Discipline, not motivation. Discipline is the ability to continue. Even when you don't feel like it. Even when it is boring. Even when it is difficult. Even when no one is watching. Think about his journey. He worked for years, without recognition, without comfort, without instant results. Do you think he felt motivated every day? No, but he still showed up. He still worked. He still moved forward. This is discipline. Discipline is not loud. It does not look exciting. It looks like showing up every day, doing the same work again, repeating boring actions. But this is where greatness is built, not in big moments, but in small, repeated actions. This is the most important moment. When you feel like stopping. When your mind says, skip today. Rest today. Do it tomorrow. That moment decides your future, because if you act anyway, you become stronger. If you stop, you become weaker. When you stay disciplined, something changes inside you. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries. You start seeing yourself as someone who does. And this identity is powerful, because once you become that person, you don't need motivation anymore. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. Because disciplined people control their actions, control their time, control their future. While others are controlled by their moods, motivation will start your journey, but discipline will finish it. If you want to change your life, stop depending on how you feel. Start depending on what you do, every day. Lesson 5. Build something bigger than yourself. Most people work only for themselves, their comfort, their needs, their survival. And because of that, their growth stays limited. Small thinking says, how can I make my life easy? Big thinking says, how can I create something valuable? This is the difference. And this difference changes everything. He did not just want to earn money. He wanted to build something that would grow beyond him, impact people, continue for generations. This is why he built systems, not just success. When your goal is small, you give up easily, because the reason is weak. But when your goal is big, you push harder, you stay longer, you fight more. Because now it is not just about you. When you build something bigger, you create opportunities, you help others grow, you leave a mark, and this gives your work meaning. Now your work is not just about survival, it becomes about contribution. Stop asking, what will I get? Start asking, what can I build? Because builders create value, and value creates success. Money can disappear, fame can fade, but what you build can last. Dhirubhai built something that continued after him. This is real success. One day your life will end, but your work can continue. Your impact can remain. Your story can inspire. So don't live only for today. Build something that matters. When you focus only on yourself, your life stays small. When you focus on creating something bigger, your life becomes powerful. So remember this. Your life is not limited by your situation. It is shaped by your decisions. You can stay where you are or build something greater. You can follow your feelings or control your actions. You can live small or think big. The choice is yours. But one thing is clear. If you stay disciplined, if you think long-term, if you build something meaningful, your life will not stay the same. It will grow. It will expand. It will transform. And one day, people will not just see your success. They will feel your impact. Lesson 6. Use problems as your power, not your excuse. Most people see problems as a reason to stop. They say, my situation is not good. I don't have support. My life is difficult. And slowly, they start believing this story. They use problems as an excuse. And this is where their growth ends. Problems are not special. Everyone has them. Different type, different level. But everyone is dealing with something. So the real difference is not problems. The real difference is how you respond to them. Look at his life. He had financial struggles, limited opportunities, no powerful background. Later in life, he faced competition, criticism, pressure. But he did not stop. He did not complain. He used every problem as fuel. There are only two types of people in the world. First type, they face a problem and they stop. They feel weak. They lose confidence. They give up. Second type, they face a problem and they grow. They learn. They adapt. They become stronger. The situation is the same, but the outcome is different. Problems force you to think. They push you out of comfort. They make you stronger. Because easy life does not build strength. Difficult life does. Every problem is hiding an opportunity, but most people don't see it. They focus only on pain, not on growth. For example, failure teaches you what not to do. Rejection builds your confidence. Struggle increases your strength. So problems are not the enemy. They are the training. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? This one question changes everything. Because now you are not a victim, you are a learner. When you start using problems as power, you stop fearing them. You start facing them. And when you face your problems, you start controlling your life. Your problems are not stopping you. Your reaction to them is. So stop using them as excuses. Start using them as strength. Because your biggest struggles can become your biggest advantage if you choose to use them. Lesson 7. Believe in yourself when no one else does. At the beginning of your journey, no one believes in you. People doubt you. People question you. People ignore you. Sometimes even your close ones don't understand your vision. And this hurts because you want support. You want someone to say, "You can do it." This is the most dangerous moment. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you will stop. You will go back. You will give up on your dreams. When he started, no one knew him. No one believed in his big vision. He was just another person trying to do something. But he had something powerful. Self-belief. He trusted himself. Even when results were not visible. Even when people doubted him. Even when the path was unclear. Because before the world believes in you, you must believe in yourself. If you don't believe, why will others? Your belief creates your actions. Your actions create your results. And your results create trust. There are always two voices inside you. One says, "You can't do it. You are not good enough. You will fail." The other says, "Keep going. Try again. You can do this." The question is, which voice will you follow? Self-belief is not magic. It is built. Through small actions, small wins, daily effort. Every time you show up, every time you try, every time you don't quit, your belief becomes stronger. You will feel doubt. This is normal. But don't stop, because belief does not mean no doubt. It means moving forward despite doubt. There will be a moment in your life when your belief becomes stronger than your fear. And that moment changes everything. Because now you are unstoppable. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to push you. No one is coming to believe in you first. It starts with you. And if you want more powerful lessons like this that also improve your English and your thinking, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and keep learning every single day.